Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Maris. If you're new, welcome, and for the returning subscribers, thank you so much for stopping by. We are over 200 subscribers. I can't really, I can't be calm. I'm so happy for the support that you guys have been, giving me, and I don't take it for granted. And please, if you are watching and you have not subscribed, kindly do subscribe and support this girl. This is the life series with Maris. We talk about life experiences, and so today I want to talk about the craziest thing that I have ever done. I think everyone have done something crazy in their life. Yeah, I know, and I believe so. Or even if it's not crazy, I don't know how to put it, but of course you have come something that you never thought that you could ever do. So sometime back then I was in a relationship with this guy. He was a little bit older than me, like 4 or 5 years older than me. So he used to travel so much. So one day I go to with this friend of mine. I met this friend of mine. We were friends. We became friends for some time, almost a year. And so this guy was in Kirinyaga University. So we met at that time. We met in Nairobi. He had come to visit a friend of his, or rather, he came with a friend of his to Nairobi, and because the friend lived in Nairobi. And so now at this point, now we met. We became friends. We used to talk. Those conversations zilikuwa zinaisha. You remember those time ya sijui 5 bob sijui 10 bob unaweka 200 SMSs. We'll chat, we'll talk, because my guy was not a fan of chatting. Of course, if you were in high school that time, you remember vile kuchat ilikuwa fun. Kwanza zile za kutext zile XX unasema ksa sasa, that means sasa sawa. You write X, A and W A. You remember those enzi. So when you have those SMSs ulikuwa mbele. I don't think that time there was WhatsApp. Yeah. So that time now I met this guy. We became friends. We used to talk. He was in Kirinyaga University. I was in high school, so I was like aspiring to go to university at that time. And then I wanted to do engineering. I wanted to do mechanical engineering. So because he was also doing the same thing related to that field, so I was like so excited. I want to know more and all that. So we became friends. We used to talk. And then after some time now, the guy started liking me. And I guess that time I was so naive or something, because I didn't even notice that he was liking me, but I could see he was giving me so much attention. And to me, I felt like it is normal for him to give me attention because he's my friend. Okay, so a time came, and then he was like shule zimefungwa, and then they were on a holiday, so he wanted to come to Nairobi and to see me. And then after to meet, and then the next day he goes to his cousin. The cousin was living in Pangani by then, and we were living in Saika. So now we plan the day we are going to meet. I'm going to pick him at Tea Room, if you know Tea Room in Nairobi. I'm going to pick him from Tea Room, and then we are going to spend the day together in town. And then in the evening, the cousin akitoka job, he would call the cousin waende na yeye home, because the guy was living in Pangani. And Pangani, if you know Pangani and town, it's just like even 5 minutes or something. So now the guy, he tells me, now I go to town. He tells me he's almost in Nairobi, so I go to town. So when I go to town, I was around your area, the CBD area. I was around that area. So going around waiting for him to arrive, because I got there before he could do. So mi nimeenda town, nimezunguka, nimemgoja. So I'm calling him, and he's not picking the phone. So I tried to say maybe the phone went off, and I don't know, maybe he's gonna find me or something. So now after like now 30 minutes or something, and he had told me ndio wanaingia town, so obvious I didn't understand why he would take that long. So I was like, I'm waiting for him this 1 hour, and if that 1 hour imeisha kaja Nicole, I'm going back home. So now the guy now after a few minutes I see a new phone call, and the phone call imeingia, and then I received the phone call. And then hello, and then I hear it's his voice, and he tells me niko Tea Room, but unfortunately he was tensing. He was really afraid, and he tells me ukishafika hapa Tea Room, kuja hapa hivi kwa hiyo hizo offices. He tell me the specific office that I'm supposed to go, and I'm like okay. And then he tells me he don't have the phone. So I get to the Tea Room. When I get there, I search for him at the place that he had told me that he is. So going there, that is when I found out ameshuka tu vigari. And then Nairobi, hey, Nairobi, aliibiwa kila kitu, ameibiwa bag, ameibiwa laptop, ameibiwa mpaka simu, hata pesa, everything. He has nothing. So I was really scared, like nilistuka. So at this time I'm like, so what are we going to do? Imagine hata tukukula. So I had the money, tukapanda gari. If you know, tulipanda 1960, and because they were cheap, you know, if you were, 1960, they charge 20 bob to town, and so tulichukua 1960, tukashukia pale Kayole 1, and then we crossed, because Saika is just, tunavuka to just 5 minutes walk and we get to Saika. So tukafika hapo, sikuwa na pesa mingi, I had 200, and like, so we get home. So mimi nimetake the guy, because the guy does not know where his cousin live, but he knows he lives in Pangani. Another thing, this guy is supposed to have classes that week, and then now he's in Nairobi, so he's afraid to call his dad and tell his dad like amepoteza do, and babake ako like ulikuwa wapi, umepoteza pesa ukiwa wapi. So another thing is like, where is this guy going to live? Because he doesn't even have the number of the friend who was living in Nairobi by that time, okay? Because simu imepotea, you don't even know the numbers of some people. So it was funny enough, because the guy used to call me. When you chat with someone for long, you don't get, you tend to remember their numbers. Of course, if I talk mostly to someone, I nashikanga namba yake sana. So mi nimempeleka home, my parents comes home, and then wamekuja nikamuintroduce. So I had this friend of mine, her name was Eunice, and they used to live in Dandora. So I told my parents, this is a brother to Eunice, alikuwa amekuja hizi area, akakuja huku kutembea. So imefika saa 2, so I'm like waiting for my brother to come back home, nimwambie accommodate huyu chali akae kwake until like ambako huyu chali apate transport arudi kwa ama after vile ata get to his cousin house or something. So mimi nimekaa tu hapo hivyo, my parents imefika saa 2, my brother is not home, and then now they tell my oh my god, my parents tell me it is getting late and your friend needs to go home. I'm like, what the hell is happening? So that time, tumetoka, I'm like, sasa tutafanya nini? And then he's telling me, so uambie wazazi wako, like, uambie tu kweli. I'm like, when is stupid ama nini? How am I going to tell them the truth that ulikuwa umekuja Nairobi kuniona and then umepoteza everything? And now I came up with an idea. I had the keys to my boyfriend's house. So I took the keys, and then nikamwambia, I tell him, let me take you somewhere. So my boyfriend didn't live far from our place, so I take him to my boyfriend's house, and my boyfriend was not around. So nikamwambia, this is my boyfriend's house, I have a boyfriend. That is the first thing. Second thing, akikupata kuwa atakuua, so you have to create something on how you're going to lie to him that you are living in his house. So I came up with an idea, and then immediately the guy calls me, uko aje nini? Nikamwambia, by the way, I have a cousin of mine. I lied to him that cousin yangu amekuja home kwa sababu ati wamekosana na mama yake, and blah blah. It was really story too refu ya uongo, I remember. And one thing about the guy, he had the second name ilikuwa jina yenye my cousins wengi wako na, when example, your grandfather anaitwa Maina, so unapata kwa familia mmepata watoto mnawaita Maina. So the guy had the name that is common in our family. So I told my boyfriend, this is my cousin, amekuja Nairobi, and this is what imehapenia, amepoteza some stuff, nataki kupigia wazazi wake simu kwa sababu hawajui ako Nairobi, and sitaki kumpeleka kwetu cause my mom atapigia mamake simu amwambie. So the guy was like, it's okay. So the guy stayed there for like 3 or 4 days, and tukipika breakfast naeka chai kwa kachupa nampelekea, tunapika lunch nampelekea, tunapika supper nampelekea. And then I was really tensed, because this is my boyfriend living with someone who likes me and he wants me, and at this point now the guy, who is the guy, wakati uko na shida, you know how to play down, because the guy was pretending he's my cousin for real. And then my cousin alikuwa anamshuku because of the conversation we were having. Sometimes we are having a conversation, it's not like we are cousins, and then my boyfriend is there and he's listening. One thing about him is he was not talkative. That guy, my boyfriend, was not talkative, so yeye atanyamaza wasikize stories zenu, mimi na kuongea. So I stayed there for 3 days. I'm trying to save up money so that I can give him, he go back to Kirinyaga. So I'm saving up the money, I'm trying to save, I'm trying whatever. So this day my boyfriend was like, nilikuwa na bomoa nywele. So I went to that house because I know they are together. So sikuwa nataka place wako pamoja like for long. I wanted to stay there like nishinde tu karibu na wao, ndio conversation wana have, niko aware. So that day now my boyfriend tell me that he's going to take the car to the garage. He's going, and then he left me the money and told me that amenda garage ati nipike lunch. So he left. So after he left, now mi niko na bomoa nywele. So the guy tells me wacha nikubomoa nywele because he has sisters, so he knows more about hair. So akaanza kunibomoa nywele, and then all of a sudden nikafeel hapana. I had braids, nikafeel hapana. I tell him acha tu nijibomoe. So I sat the next side and then I started doing my hair. A few minutes, like 10 minutes after my boyfriend had left, he came back, and the way he opened that window, he was like maybe thinking that maybe we were doing something. I'm telling you, he used to suspect, and even if you watch this video, he's going to kill me. So he was suspecting there was something going on between us, blah 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 blah, nini nini. I'm like, hey, I'm like, you know what, he comes, and then he comes kuna kitu umesawa, akasema no, I was here, and he was giving an excuse that does not make sense, and I was like, you know what, ukiona ameanza kunishuku hivi, he's going to find out and he's going to kill me. So before that could happen, let me just get rid of this guy. So I started finding a way of how I will get the money. Unfortunately, I got the money, 500. And the moment that nilipata hiyo pesa, immediately nilipata, cause I remember hata nilichukuanga pesa za my mom, alikuwa amezificha mahali. So I went and took some money, and then I went and told the guy, nataka tu uoge ujitayarisha, nikikuja huko nikupate umejitayarisha nikuzindikishe. So I got there and amejitayarisha, nikamwambia tutoke, anaanza tunaenda wapi, namwambia nakuzindikisha unaenda kwenu, I don't want problems. So I took him to town, and he akachukua gari za Kirinyaga. I gave him 500 bob yenye nilikuwa nayo, nikamwambia chukua, ukishafika huko mbele utajisort, me I'm done with you, never call me, never text me, we are done, I don't want anything to do with you, because if I'm going to get beaten because of you, hapana. So the guy left. After he got home, he called me with the another number, and he told me nimefika home, and actually that was it. I never spoke to the guy for some time. He kept on trying to reach on me, but he never got. My boyfriend kept on suspecting me. Sometimes he'll be like, hey, huyo Charlie hata kani cousin yako. I'm like, najikasirisha ile for the sake of I do not want problems. So that was it. I never got to meet the guy. Of course, nowadays we talk once in a while, but not that consistently, ni mara moja moja. I became friends with his mom. Like, he had told his mom so many stories about me. Like, I'm even like, oh my God, how do you do that? So we became friends. Of course, he moved on. He has someone else. He has a family right now. And that was it. And I think that was the worst thing. And I have never, one thing about this, I have never told this story to anybody. Like, even my boyfriend now, if he sees this video, I don't know, he's like, oh my God, really? You can do that? But if it was you in such situation, let assume mtu amekuja and then amepoteza everything. What could have you done? At the moment, mi singemwacha town peke yake. He doesn't know anybody in Nairobi. He doesn't have a phone. He doesn't have anything. At my situation, what will you do? It's not like I'm trying to justify myself, but I feel that was the craziest and dangerous thing that I have ever done. And I don't regret it because I saved someone. And if nikipotea, niende to place, mtu anifanyie hivyo, I think that will be like atakuwa amenisaidia. So that is all I could have done for him. And wherever you are, thank you so much for understanding and not allowing kuchoma, because kama wewe ni mtu wa kuchoma ungekuwa umechoma that time. And thank you guys. So that is it. That has been the story, and I hope that you like this story. I hope that you tell me about your craziest thing that you have ever done. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to share, comment, like, and just anything that can be done on this YouTube. Don't forget to do that. So this has been Life Series with Maris. So until next time, you guys, nawapenda. Adios.